What's up, everyone? I am Georgie Howie, and I teach small businesses like you how to get business certifications, how to form strategic partnerships, and how to use both of those to grow your revenue. Welcome back. I'm here to discuss today the common mistakes that business owners, small businesses like you, make when going after business certifications. Business certifications I typically refer to are the SBE certifications or the MBE certifications or the DBE certifications, or if your local government, such as my local government like DC, has a local certification called the CBE, right? The common mistakes that a lot of people make was starting and stopping in the application process. I think this is the most common mistakes that I hear from people, and it was one of the most difficult things that I experienced in this process, and I'll tell you why. So when it was time to do, I'm on my second business. My first business, I had a thriving private practice for 14 years, and I am now semi-retired as a therapist, transitioned to owning the construction companies that I started in 2022. But my prior business, I started to try to become a certified business enterprise, which is the certifying entity in DC. What happened was I had these delays in the application. I didn't have all my paperwork together, even though I had a fully functional business that I have been doing for years. I just was not organized and together. Well, starting this new business in 2022, I knew the benefits that was going to serve me with having the certification. So I was definitely committed to the process. And when I say committed, I did everything that, I was told to do, and I laid out everything in a different type of way. And so what was different about this time is that my commitment and my focus was on getting the certification, because I knew how important it was and how much of an impact it could have on my business growth and my revenue. And so those two were extremely important to me. And so one of the things that I decided to do was make the commitment early on, no matter how long it took. And it takes a long time sometimes. No matter how long it took, how many edits I had to make, I was going to commit to completing this application, and I got it done. It took me approximate 2 or 3 edits, them giving me feedback before I got everything submitted and completed, and that took a course of over like 3 months. And so what I'm saying is that the mistake that some people make is they have these unrealistic expectations of themselves, unrealistic expectation of the process, how long it's going to take till you actually complete it. The other common mistake that I see people make is that they don't commit to taking the time it takes to organize the documents and getting the documents in order for you to submit the application. So just think about it. Like, every one of these applications has some level of a checklist, and it tells you exactly what it needs before you start the application. Sometimes we try to skip steps and say, well, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna take everything I think I have, and I'm just gonna start filling out the application. And so you start on Monday, and you can only get but so far, and you realize you have to go get more information. So then you go back on Tuesday, and then you go back on Friday, and then you start again on Saturday, and then you go into the next week. Well, then that 1 week turns into 6 weeks, and turns into 12 weeks, and then turns into you forgetting and getting busy and distracted. So what I'm trying to say is, ensure you have the proper information before you start. Gather the checklist. And if you're even looking for a more informal checklist, a clearer checklist, you can go to the link in my bio and download the Ultimate Starter Kit checklist. This is the ultimate starter kit that I created for small business owners like you, that help you navigate and pull together the actual documents you need to help you with submitting these applications, right? And it's also some encouraging words to help you because sometimes it gets tiring and overwhelming. So again, look in the link in my bio and get a copy of that. But what I want to get back to you is that understanding outside of the checklist, you just want to prepare. The preparation you do on the front end will help ease the anxiety and all the stressors while navigating, the process, right? So we want to make things easier by you being prepared on the front end. Don't go into the application assuming you have everything, because I'm going to tell you, more than likely you don't. There's going to be some document you don't have, something you've never created, something you never heard of, and it's going to delay the process when you're actually in the program or in the system trying to fill out an application. By preparing and getting prepared ahead of time, you're avoiding the delay it requires to fill out the questions and how the documents required. Another common mistake that I see business owners make is not understanding your eligibility for this certification. So again, when you're going into, and I'm using the local certifications because those are typically, I wouldn't say the easiest to get, but they're more likely aligned with your business goals and likely aligned with where you want your business to go. And when I say alignment, it's like the local certifications make it very clear about what they expect and require. So when you're not meeting the basic eligibility, or you're not understanding the eligibility, then you're taking time to fill out an application when, if submitted, you may not even be eligible for. So yes, you may have gathered your paperwork and you see everything, but you have to really check, am I really eligible for this? Does my business align with what this application says? Can I perform the things that are listed within the application, and is it required of me? And some people think because you have a new business, you can't be eligible, but that's not always the case, right? There may be some forms and things and documents and returns. You may not have tax returns, or you may not have certain information, but it doesn't mean that it makes you ineligible. You want to get clear very quickly and early on about what is the eligibility requirements, and does your concept or your business align with that. Another mistake that I see a lot of business owners make is submitting the application with incorrect or incomplete documentation. So you're going to say, it tells you, here's your list of documents we need. And you decide you're still going to submit the application without it because you don't have the documents, or you don't know how to create the documents, or you don't want to ask anyone to help you create the document. So you're just going to submit it hoping that they just decide to pick you and say, we're not going to need that from you. Well, that's oftentimes incorrect. What typically comes back, and with my experience, I've completed over 6 certification applications. That's for my CBE, that is for DBE application, that is for my MBE and my WB application, and then a local certifying entity that I work with specifically under construction. I've completed these applications, right? So that's 5, not 6. With that being said, when I started, I would try to quick check and go through things very quickly, right? I would try to just upload all the information thinking like, let me get it in quickly. Then if I get it in, then maybe they'll just approve it, or maybe someone will miss. But they have these very stringent protocols that they follow and that they have to adhere to and they have to abide by, that it requires, and I'm sure whatever systems that they use to check, they are checking these applications thoroughly. So if you're trying to submit and take a shortcut by submitting the certifications without the correct information or wrong information, it will get returned. And you have to come into the certification process with like armor, because it can be so frustrating and so overwhelming that you often feel alone and isolated and confused and frustrated, like, why am I even doing this? But I'm here to tell you that it is worth it. The time you're taking, the commitment you're making, the dedication you have to getting this done is worth it. It is why, for me, I decided to start a community to support other business owners, because I oftentimes felt isolated in my journey of applying to these certifications. Isolated, confused, frustrated, wanting these people to help me, like, hey, why are you all making this so difficult? It feels like you're under attack. It feels like they're purposely trying to keep you out and make it hard for no reason, is what you're going to experience. And so I'm here to just give you some brief information so that when you're navigating this process, it becomes easier for you. It becomes clear for you, and you get it done in a shorter amount of time it took me to get it done. So if any lesson I can ever put that out there, is I'm all about showing someone something that worked for me, but having them do it in the half the time it took for me to do it. And so these mistakes that I am pinpointing for you is with the hope and goal that you are addressing and taking them into consideration, and that you're properly preparing yourself for the transition. It can be hard. It will be difficult. It can take a lot of time. It can get frustrating, but you have to remain the course. And I'm here to support you. And so again, let's just start here. I want you to start by downloading the Ultimate Starter Checklist. It is in my bio. I want you to start by subscribing. And I want to see you and hear from you in the comments about what has been difficult for you. I'm here to help and support you, and I'm building community around this to continue to support you because I understand how needed this is. I am not wanting to be the only person who knows about this. And I had to sit with this topic and these thoughts because I'm like, I can't be the only person navigating through this. I'm cheering people on to get certifications. Like, you got to get certified. You should go get certified. And people are like, I've tried. I can't. I'm tired. I'm here to tell you it's time to get beyond that. So, and I'm going to be here to support you. So I thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you again. And we're going to continue to discuss this. We're going to continue to get through this, and we're going to continue to create more opportunities for you to make this an easier process. See you again.